So, BahuBali. It was suggested to me from lots of the comments and Zax and Flaccid Phoenix that I should check out BahuBali because it's another piece of Indian cinema and uh, not quite like RRR, but in the fantasy sphere, which is sort of what I like to cover. It's what I like. I'm a fantasy guy, right? I like Wheel of Time. I like Lord of the Rings, that type of stuff. So I was told that that is sort of what this encompasses, and I'd agree. Absolutely, 100% it does. So, um, what do I want to say about this movie off the swing? So first, I'm going to say I just watched the beginning. I didn't get to the conclusion one yet. I wanted to sort of do a take on the first part before I even started the second part, just so I don't get myself mixed up. Because anybody that watches my channel will quickly tell that not only can I not pronounce anything, so I apologize for pronouncing anything incorrectly, but I get mixed up sometimes between if I'm watching too much at once. So I wanted to watch the first part initially before getting into the second part, and I'm glad I am because anybody that's watched the movie knows how this one ends. So there may be some spoilers. I wasn't sure if I was going to do. There probably going to be some spoilers. So anybody that hasn't watched the movie, I'd say check it out. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Now I guess for me, how do I put it? It started a little slow for me, but I understand why. You're building on something, right? So obviously uh, you have to build a foundation for your character. Obviously, the main character Bahubali, and you got to have the whole backstory. So, um, the first little bit was a little bit confusing just because I'm having to read subtitles, so I had to go back and forth a few times because I got distracted. But uh, you know, I got to be honest, I got a little confused because obviously they're talking to Shiva, praying to Shiva, and then they called Bahubali. They were calling Bahubali Shiva. At least that's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I got a little confused at the beginning until I figured out what the heck was going on. Sorry, I'm a little slow. But once I figured all that out, the plot starts getting going, and I do have to say some of the waterfall shots were freaking pretty cool looking. I mean, there's some amazing cinematography going on. Again, a lot of cool rope work. That seems to be the theme of some of these movies. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. But and then you obviously get the motivation. He ends up he's obviously saved by the queen, and then it's basically curiosity at that point, or this drive because he has a kingdom to go back to and he doesn't even know that, right? So this drive to get up the waterfall. uh so I got how that worked. It was a bit of a slog. I mean, I get it. So it was one of those. It wasn't my favorite part of the movie, but it was okay. Like it wasn't bad by any means. But just getting him up to where he started figuring out what was going on in the world outside of his little tribe of people. Right, that's all he's known. He's in this little group of people. He doesn't know anything of the outside world, so he's obviously curious. That's why he's making these crazy jumps. I mean, holy crap, risking your life to get up this waterfall, right? But it was fun, and I enjoyed that part quite a bit. And then, of course, he finally gets up the waterfall, and he discovers this woman who he's captivated with, which understanding. And then you get the whole backstory about the queen being captured, and this tribe of people is trying to free their queen, right? And everybody is basically that's what's driving the plot at this point. And then uh, you get some pieces of how things are going in the city, which the main city, which isn't really good. You got a lot of suffering going on. You got I did enjoy the fight scene with I forget his name. I'm sorry. The slave guardian guy and the sword maker. I'm assuming since they're now friends for life, that'll come back somewhere. I don't know. It didn't come back in this one. Maybe it'll come back around later. But um, so I did enjoy the sword fight part with them. That was pretty cool. It was a good sword fight. Um, and just real quick, I want to segue here a little bit. Just let me go off on a little tangent. Um, some of the things that I've seen in this movie is some of the things that I would have liked to sort of see in the Wheel of Time. Some more fighting stuff, some more sword play, some more fantasy elements, right? I don't know if any of you have watched the Wheel of Time show or read it, but um, you know, I wasn't looking for a masterpiece of cinema from that show. I was just looking for some them to follow the source material and to give us some fun sword fights and some fun scenes, which we haven't got yet. So this sort of by this point we're getting into the story, and I'm getting sucked in, right? I'm getting more and more sucked in. We're getting some backstory about the main female. We're getting some Bahubali stuff. Of course, during this whole time, we're getting some incredible cinematography. Some of once again, like a lot of the CGI is similar to RRR. It can be a little janky at times, but so what? It's fine, right? Nothing that's overly distracting, at least for me. So you could see what was going on and you got it right. So it wasn't overall distracting. It was fine. It was fun, right? So then Bahubali and the girl again. I'm not even names are lost on me, but you basically got him flirting with her, and they discover each other. So you got the love story brewing there, which for any epic fantasy thing, you got to have a love story in there. So that was well based and beautiful, beautiful young woman. It's sort of amazing uh, the warrior side, and then after he breaks down the walls that she's built, just the difference between, it's almost hard to believe it's the same woman, right? So great job there. I thought it was pretty extremely well done, very tasteful, and yeah, it was actually amazing that was the same person. But then you sort of you get into more and more of the backstory. They're getting chased down by the uh, the soldiers, and then you get to he's basically uh, decided that he's gonna help her, right? Whatever her mission is his mission, is basically what he says, right? So he ends up taking on her quest to free the queen, um, and he's in the city, and they're erecting this gigantic monument, right? This gigantic golden monument, and there's a point where, obviously, if you've seen the movie, where this idol is going to fall and crush all these people, and he immediately jumps in and saves the people, and he's basically pretty much noticed, right? And then the chant for Bahubali comes up, obviously, and then at that point it's one of those like, okay, he must be look a lot like his father, right? Because you haven't seen anything about it. And that's one of the things I thought was really cool, was you get a good big chunk of story about Bahubali and what's going on with him, and then the whole second half of the movie is basically explaining why he is where he is, which I appreciated and I enjoyed, because you could there's another way you could have gone around this. You could have just sort of not shown it and just sort of had the tell us what happened and all that stuff. But I really enjoyed that the slave meets up with Bahubali, and he discovers that that's it's him, and they have this relationship, and of course he knows nothing about it, right? So and then you go back into basically how we got where we are, right? The brothers, the death of the queen, the birth of the brothers, right? And I quite enjoyed that whole story. It was very, I was at this point I was sucked in. I was just there, right? It was uh, you seeing the sort of the yin and yang of how the two brothers acted. You got the one compassionate, the one sort of brazen, action led by action and passion. And then you got I'm sorry, passion and drive, and then you got the compassionate one who is also skilled in many other ways, including combat. So you see the different styles of combat. I couldn't. I really once I saw the big ball and chain, the is it Diva Baladiva? I'm trying. Not Bahubali Baladiva. I guess I'm gonna pronounce it incorrect. I apologize, but the big ball and chain he's got. I don't know if anybody's watching has played any of the Dynasty Warriors franchise, but as soon as I saw that and then the fight scene that ensues after that, the big war, I was getting such Dynasty Warrior vibes in a good way, like because I love Dynasty Warriors. Don't take this as a slight, because they made a Dynasty Warriors movie and it wasn't very good. I thought this is so it gave me a very big Dynasty Warriors vibe where you got these two guys who are insane power levels and they're just plowing through guys, and then you got this one guy with this large ball and chain type weapon who's just sweeping through people. You got a spinning wheel of death vehicle that's chopping through people. So so you get the whole war room scene. Bahubali comes up with a tactic, and then it's hey, this is a perfect way to figure out which brother's going to rule the kingdom, right? Whoever kills the enemy general is going to be king. Crown king, right? Dilemma over, right? So the fight, the battle scene was actually, I enjoyed it quite a bit. There was a few times where I got a little lost because they had Bahubali doing a little warping. He was here and then he was there and then he was back here, right? So I wish that was a little bit more seamless. The fighting in between all that was good. It was fine. It was entertaining. It was actually a very entertaining battle scene. Just wish that I didn't get lost a few times on where his position was. Because he had to come back and save the troops a few times. But it was also very deliberate and very cool to see. And if you're paying attention to the movie, you can see what's happening, right? Bahubali is going out of his way to save his people in any opportunity that he can. Even though the goal is obviously to kill the general and become crowned king, right? He's given less. He's giving siege weapons instead of frontline weapons, which he uses in a unique way to his advantage. So it shows that he's intelligent, and he can take a negative, make it into a positive. He's compassionate for his people. He puts his people before himself, and his people are number one. And he is a badass warrior. Let's just put it right out there. Where his brother is basically singly focused. His father has made sure that he's got all the advantages in the world, and he is driven to the one single goal because selfishly he just wants to be king. And that's I think that's probably instilled from the father, obviously. But he, to his detriment and to his character flaw, he is even willing to cut right through his people that are hostages to try and attain that goal. And then I think it caps it off perfectly, the battle anyways, which, Bahubali's been all over the place. He's done, he saved his people. He's refortified their line, so the queen and everybody is able to rebound and prep for keep the attack from breaking through their lines. Then he ends up back, one on one with the boss. We'll say the boss, and right up to the end, he's ready to do that killing blow, and in a very weaselly fashion, Ball and Chain Man, his brother, just sort of whacks the guy in the back of the head from, I don't know, 20, 30 yards away with this awesome ball and chain weapon, and sort of steals the day, or tries to, right? Of course, the Queen Mother is basically having none of it. She sees exactly what happens because she is a smart woman who is also quite a fierce warrior, which was cool. Not she was a good warrior in not a unbelievable way, at least for me. Like some of these movies will just tell you that they're fierce warrior. You can see her, she's not like punching people and knocking them out one blow. She's using a sword skillfully, right? And also she's very intelligent, and she sees through all this, and yeah, basically, if you've seen it, you know what happens at that point. I'm trying not to ruin everything, but and then you flash back to present day with BahuBali, and man, I forget his name, but the slave guy who I liked a lot. He was pretty cool. Um, and you're giving a little bit more backstory, and I'm not gonna say it because I want anybody that hasn't watched it to watch it. But the ending, I think I literally my jaw hung open, and then it went to credits, and I was like, you can't stop it there, right? That's where you're gonna stop it, right there. So it was a great for somebody that can now put on the second half immediately, or the second part immediately, and watch it whenever I want to. It's good. Anybody that was watching this when it first came out in 2015, I don't know how they waited. I don't know if they came out concurrently at the same time and they were just split up. I'm assuming not. I guess I'll see when I put on the second one. But man, that must have been a hard wait, because what a cliffhanger, and done in a good way. It was not. I wasn't expecting it at all. So I'm interested to see how they explain it, because I like that character, and I hope that he makes it out okay. But we'll see. Might have a heroic sacrifice coming his way, right? So yeah. So I just sort of overarching, my thoughts on the movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I had a tough time getting in, like I said, but once he got up the waterfall, once he started making progress, he was growing up, and he made it up to the top. The plot started rolling, and it grabbed me. And once we got into the war, the war had me captivated. Even though I was a little confused at points, by some location error. Well, not I shouldn't say errors, but some location difficulties to try and get him to accomplish everything he needs to. I liked it overall. It was it's definitely I would put it in the high fantasy category. It's definitely a fantasy driven film. And I think once again, the music draws you right in. They do a very good job with these movies, drawing you into some of these battle scenes with some very intense music. Acting's on point. For me, it's one of those. Of course, I'm reading a lot of the language happening. Well, reading all of the language in this one. There is no English, so I know watching stuff dubbed in English is not the best way to watch it. I don't know if there is a version in English to watch. But sometimes I defer to that, because I can watch what's happening on the screen more than I have trouble sometimes reading and watching at the same time. So because I guess I'm not the smartest person in the world, but what can you do, right? So I would highly suggest, especially anybody that liked RRR. I'm sure probably most of the people that have seen my video and have watched RRR have probably already watched this. If you're somebody that's watching my channel for Wheel of Time content or something else, and you tried RRR and it was a little bit weird for you, well, I get that. I just thought it was highly entertaining, and this is along the same lines. So if you liked that movie, you're probably going to like this movie. Give it a little time to develop, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the second part, the completion, the conclusion, and hopefully I get to do a video on that as well. So what do you think? What do you think about BahuBali? Anybody that's seen it, let me know in the comments. Do you want me to keep doing stuff like this? I will keep doing some of these. I mean, I like the fantasy stuff. This Rajamouli seems to be growing on me quite a bit. He has the same sort of cinematic idea for both these movies. RRR was action right away. This one built up to it, but I enjoyed both of them quite a bit. So I'm pretty much a fan at this point. So I'm gonna keep checking them out. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to see more, let me know. And until next time, everybody have a fantastic day, evening, or night wherever you are. Thank you.